Hey bee folks, it's January 26th here in Virginia and we still have a little bit of snow on the ground and I'm out checking on bees. I wanted to check in on an experiment I did last year just to see how it's actually faring. The issue I've had is if I want to put insulation above a colony, like let's say this one, oftentimes that's using foam. Bees like to chew foam, right? So if I put foam on the top, I need to protect that foam somehow. And quite often that protecting is happening with double bubble, reflectix being the brand name insulation, or I use a lot of fabric. The biggest issue I've had though is a flat surface of foam. There's not that much space between the top bars and the top of the box, so that the insulation gets pushed down or the fabric gets pushed down onto the frame tops. And even though the insulation above it helps reduce condensation, there is still some condensation that's happening based on natural respiration in the beehive. It's not bad, but it's enough to get moisture accumulation on the top bars. And what do you know? The bees can't get up there and suck it down, which they want to do, and you get a little bit of mold. It's, I think probably just purely aesthetic. Might weaken the wood a little bit. I don't think it harms the bees. But anyway, trying to figure out ways to maybe make that a little bit better, and I don't know, experimentation, right? So what I've done here is I've chopped a section of a box that was rotting a little bit, and piece of OSB. I already had, this is old aluminum, actually printing press aluminum from a local, our local newspaper. When they used to actually print a newspaper in town, my dad would gather it to make beehive lids. They would sell the scraps cheap. Anyway, so what I've done here is I had some scrap polyiso foam, and I've filled about that much of the box with foam, very tight, and then I've got an air gap. And the idea there is that that gives room, you can see it here, for the foam, fabric, whatever insulation we're using to press up into that void. And we've got the benefits of insulation, but we don't have the this inner cover effect pushing down. So let's just flip this back, and just set that aside. Let's see what it looks like under here. This is the fun part. Go back. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see how the bees have pushed the reflectix up, and they've actually made a little bit of comb. They've got lots of room to patrol. Looking at the top bars, I don't see really any bad mold issues, so I'd say that's a success. The other nice thing with having that void for this to push up in is I could slip a pollen patty in there if I need to. I could put in emergency feed. Just feel how heavy this is. Oh, yeah, we're heavy. So I don't think I need to feed this colony. They're good for a little while. But it gives me room to actually do things to help. I don't have to use shims or anything special. It's already integrated in the lid. I think one of the biggest risks with this lid is wind picking this surface up. I don't have a seal with propolis here to help hold it down, so do a brick. So far I haven't lost the lid, but we'll see. We'll come over here and check out this one. And this one I did not have aluminum, so I just threw on some OSB as a, just experimentation, right? Again, we got the old bee box I cut down, and this one looks like I had thinner foam, so I've got a pretty big void area. A little bigger than I'd like, really, but it's there, and a little condensation along the wall on the edge. That would be expected. I'll lift this off. I just bumped the colony. Hopefully they're not going to be mad at me. We'll peel this up and see how it looks. Yeah, pretty good. Much better than if I didn't have that airspace. These are looking happy. A little bit of mold at the very end bars, so I wouldn't call that too bad. Overall, I'd say it's a success. Gives me insulation. The insulation's protected. The ability to do emergency feeding without bringing extra equipment. And I'll make some more as I have foam scraps and half rotten. Like if a big box like this starts to rot, often it's just the bottom and the top, and the middle part's okay. So if I cut that part out, it gives me the ability to make one last hurrah for that equipment. And yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed seeing an experiment in action. I'd be curious if anyone else has tried something like this and how it's worked out. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, get out there in the bees. Take care.